Hello, my name is Judy. Welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. Today I thought I would recap 2023 and go over my hopes and plans for 2024. So in 2023 I raised 5 hens and 2 roosters and replaced 2 of the roosters that I had and some hens that I lost in the last year. The 2 roosters I replaced, one of those had become quite aggressive, and I wanted to switch breeds. In the future, I want to go over to the Plymouth Barred Rocks, and so I want to do that over a gradual process, and the first step to that was raising those 5 hens and replacing the roosters. My spring raised bed gardens, I grew tomatoes. They didn't do great. I think it was more the weather. And I supplemented with my compost, and it was still, I think, a little too hot, a little too high nitrogen. The peppers did great. I really think a lot of that was the hot weather we had. So I will do that again, maybe not grow as many tomatoes because I have plenty already canned. The in-ground garden, I planted too many corn and peas, too many rows of those. And I do not want to do an in-ground garden this year or next year or the year after. So this year, or 2023's spring garden, I had 12 rows of corn. 6 sweet corn, 6 field corn. My husband was on an outage that week, and so it was up to me to side dress all 12 rows. And you're supposed to do it twice. I did it once. The sweet corn did fine, the field corn didn't do great, the raccoons got into it. And I started just reevaluating that garden. And the way I grew up, at every meal we had peas and corn or potatoes and green beans, just about every meal, and biscuits and cornbread. So I have enough corn and peas in my freezer for 2024 and maybe part of 2025. So I really do not plan to grow any corn this year. And if I grow any peas this year, it will just be for fresh eating. The other thing with the in-ground garden is I do have clay and our pH is really high. So I want to transition to raised beds. I saw on Living Traditions Homestead what they plan to do, and I will link that in the description notes below. And I just plan to copy their plan. I like it. They've done the research. There's no reason to recreate the wheel. So I've already gotten 4 of those beds. I would like 17 more. I may have to do it over time. You know, this spring I may only have those 4 raised beds. But over time I would like to get to 21. And as we get older, we need to work smarter. And so another thing with my in-ground garden is I never could stay on top of the weeds. They always ended up taking me over. So I think this will be easier with raised beds. It will be more expensive in the beginning, but I think I will be able to grow food longer if I get this set up. A couple of personal things that happened this year is my daughter got sick. She has an autoimmune disease. She ended up having a second autoimmune disease. She had treatments and is on medicine, but she's doing great. Another personal thing is my son proposed to a wonderful lady, and she said yes. So we will be having a wedding in 2024. Our fall garden, I'm pleased with that. I put that in the raised beds out behind the house, and it's cabbage and broccoli and turnips and carrots, and I did grow kale this year. We don't eat as much kale, but my chickens do love it, so that's just free food for them. We took an anniversary vacation. Me and my husband have been married in 2023, 32 years, and we took vacation to the beach with some friends. And at that same time, my German Shepherd was injured and had to have her leg amputated. She is well now, doing great, and she still is the number 1 dog. We have 2, but they get along great, and she's doing really well. She healed up just fine. We did get sick over the holidays. My husband had the Rona for just a couple of days. He had very quick recovery, and I had sinus. And so we brought in the new year. I had a nightcap of NyQuil and went to bed early. So that was kind of a quick recap of 2023. Let me just go over a little bit of what happened in 2024 so far and what my plans are for the future. So my dad's health declined, and he passed just this past week, and he is now in heaven. He was 87. He was a wonderful father and grandfather, and we were very blessed to have. My mother's already passed, but mother and father that raised us the way they did and with such love. Our plans, I've missed starting onion and celery seeds for our spring 2024 garden. I do plan to start tomato and pepper seeds around the 1st of February for our garden. We normally try to plant on Good Friday, and that's going to be the last Friday in March, so we'll see if we get that done at that time. One of the things I want to do the end of this month or in February is prune my blackberry and raspberry plants, and I also want to transplant them. So back in October, I ordered about 4 metal beds, and I don't know if we're going to relocate where the berries are, and I'll need to discuss that with my husband where he wants those to be, and then I want to get those transplanted in those beds. Just want to be very strategic and smart with where we place them and give them a little bit more room. Our raspberry plants are really easy to prune. I have fall bearing plants, and so we just chop them off about 3 inches above the ground, and that's it. The blackberries, we need to prune the limbs that have already produced fruit, and I've done some of that, but I need to go back and do it again. I would like to do that this week since we've had so much cold weather. I think it's a great time to go ahead and prune those berries. I did in 2023, I ordered a half a hog, and that should come in March. So when that does come in, I will show you what that looks like. They had a whole hog left, and it was like a whole or nothing. So I reached out to a neighbor and friend, and she's interested in splitting that with me. So we will each get half a hog. I don't know what that cut sheet's going to look like or what we're going to do, but I really like getting our meat from local farmers. Another thing I hope to do either in 2024 or 2025 is to try raising meat birds. We have just really enjoyed the cows that we've had processed from local farmers. We like that better, except for steaks. We still like steaks that you buy. The grass-fed, grass-finished cows, the steaks are not quite as good, but we do love everything else. Another thing I would like, it may not happen in 2024, it may not happen in 2025, but eventually I would like a freeze dryer. I want to use that to put up our produce from our garden. It'll last longer. It holds the nutrition better. It is quite an investment, but I like the idea of, say, 10 years from now, being able to eat food that I grew this year or next year. Or when I'm no longer able to garden, I still have food put back that we grew that we know is good and healthy for us. I'm researching between Harvest Right and the Cube. I have a small house, so the thing I like about the Cube is that the pump is inside and there's a cart that it sits on, and so it's going to take up less space. The Harvest Right has lots of reviews. I see a lot of homesteaders using those, so I'm trying to do some research to see what will be a better fit for us. I do want to raise 5 more chicks this year, Plymouth Rock chicks, hens. I find that if I add 5 more, my egg production is a little better in the fall, and that's just another step to gradually switching over to a completely barred rock flock. Right now I have some Dominickers, and I have some black Australopes, and I have some Plymouth barred rocks. I'm also considering incubating some guineas. I have 2 male guineas. I started off with 6. Predators and other things happened to the other 4. I believe I had 2 females and 4 males. So a friend of mine has some guineas, and I may very well try to get some eggs from her to incubate to add some more guineas. The reason I like guineas is I really think they help a lot with snakes and mice and ticks. The first year we were here, I come across 4 snakes. I almost stepped on a copperhead twice. And I don't know if it's because we let our chickens free range or the guineas are out. I know we have snakes. There's a lake in our front yard. But I feel like maybe it keeps them out of the yard. So since I've said that, I'm probably going to come see snakes this spring. But anyway, I feel like since we've had the guineas and we let our chickens free range, I feel like I haven't come across them in the yard. And so I really, really like that. And their eggs are supposed to be really good too. I'm not eating any of their eggs. My female guineas died before they started laying any eggs, so we'll see how that goes. My fall garden for 2024, I'll probably pretty much keep it the same. Cabbage, broccoli, carrots, maybe some turnips and kale. Our chickens really love kale. I did find some frost hardy lettuce, and so I'll probably grow that again as well. And in the fall and winter, it's always rest and plan for the next year. So that's kind of my recap of 2023 and my hopes and plans for 2024. We will see what happens. I know a lot of people did this type of video around the first week in January. It just didn't happen for us. I'm a little late getting that done. Another thing I considered was doing the pantry challenge for January and February. January didn't work. I've considered it for February. I'm still on the fence about that. I think I have enough here at the house that I could get that done. But I haven't decided yet. I do know that I want to do some budget meals and maybe just some little tips and tricks on saving money. Groceries are so expensive. Everything else is so expensive. Just probably nothing you haven't heard, but maybe if there's even one thing I've heard, it would be helpful. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.